Welcome, 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 everybody, back to another episode of How to Win Government Contracts, the podcast. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about how to start a government contracting business. Now, there is a lot of very basic and introductory concept, but we're also going to teach some advanced concept in today's class as well. So, today's class, we're going to talk about how to start a government contracting business. So that's really what we're going to be covering. My name is Abraham. I am your host of today's podcast. I've got my producer behind the scenes, so she's going to be helping out. If you are joining us live for the first time, welcome. Some of you are, I've seen some of you who's been a long time part of our community here. Thank you for joining us here. If you're watching this here on replay, thank you for joining the community. So, what's on our agenda today? So let me kind of cover the topics that we're going to be going through here. So give me 1 second, and I'm going to pull up my screen, and then we're going to be talking about the key ingredients. What are the steps to starting a successful government contracting business? Now, if you're joining us, put in there in the chat area the name of your company and where you're located. Gives me some perspective of where you're at and who we're working with. So let me go ahead and share my screen and we'll go over the agenda for today. All right, so this is our agenda for the day. So no mystery to anything at all. So this is what we're going to be covering: how to start a successful business in the government market. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about 25 reasons and facts of why you should be in the government market. Then we're going to talk about 10 questions that you should ask yourself as you plan before you start a government contracting business. We're going to talk about, hey, is there a blueprint to accelerate this here for your business? And then we're going to talk about how to explore a step-by-step software covering 12 steps in terms of getting your business in the government market. We're going to talk about what's the 5P methodology. And then at the very end, stay to the very end, because we're going to give, we have a free giveaway. And then we're going to give you the links to all of these topics, the 10 questions, the 25 reasons. We're going to give you a document called Do You Speak Governese, which is a one short, really one-page business plan as it relates to government contracting, because it tells you exactly what you need to do, but it speaks in Governese terminology. So that's what we're going to be talking about. These are the items for our show today here. So with that, let's dive into the very first thing: 25 facts and reasons why you should be in the government market. So we'll start with that there. Now, if you're joining us, you're just joining us, our topic for the day is how to start a government contracting business. We're going to cover some very, very basic and early entry level strategies and techniques. And then we're also going to cover some very advanced strategy and techniques as well. So with that, don't forget to put in your company name and your where you're located at, so that it helps us kind of understand who's joining us today live. So let's start off with 25 facts and reasons. So my show producer is going to put this document in the chat so that you can download this here so you can review it for yourself. So 25 facts and reasons, right? Of course, the most important reason is trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars, right? At the federal level, there's about $4 trillion every single year in terms of the federal budget. It's actually closer to $6 trillion now, but it goes up every single year. Over $650 billion is awarded every single year to businesses. 2024 or 2023 closed at about $750 billion. And so the number just keeps on going up year after year after year. Now, there are $1.3 trillion in grants. So there's lots of grant opportunities there as well. So not only just contract opportunities, but that's another reason to be in the government market, because there's a lot of grant opportunities as well. And the government expenditure accounts for over 25% of gross domestic product, GDP. There are 93 major federal agencies and over 1,100 sub-agencies. So there's a lot of federal agencies out there for you to do work with. Collectively, there's over 85,000 agencies total. There's 50 states, there's over 3,000 counties, there's over 14,000 special districts, there's 31,000, all kinds of different government agencies out there from federal, state, counties, and cities, plus 5 U.S. territories out there, and lots of, 574 native tribes out there. They all buy from business just like yours. And then number 7, very, very important principle here. The federal government has a set aside program, which is 23%. Now, through executive order, it's actually over 30%, but the official set aside program is 23%. And almost every single year, they do not meet their small business set aside program. They're looking for small businesses. So number 7 is a very, very important reason for you to consider the government market. Now, number 8, large corporations, another regulation. Large corporations are required to subcontract on average 35% to small businesses. So that's another very important reason why you need to be in the government market. Number 9, 41% of businesses, according to business research, that 41% of businesses are owned by women entrepreneurs. But women businesses are winning less than 4.6% of contracting dollars. So there's a lot of women business, but they just not winning these contracts. And there's a 5% set aside program for women-owned businesses, but they're not reaching the 5% goal. So ladies, you must help yourself get into the government market, get this piece of the pie. Number 10, certified small businesses can win set aside or sole source contracts. Small businesses, if you get your certification, the most important reason is sole source contract. Sole source contract is a direct award to your business, and you do not need to compete with anybody. You can win sole source contract as an 8A company, as a women-owned business, as a STVSB, as a HubZone company. All these certifications open doors for you to not only get set aside where only certain segments of the community can win contracts, but you can win sole source contracts. So super, super important there. Now, there's over 30 million. Now, the latest business census says there's about 33.5 million businesses in the U.S., but only about 600,000 are registered. That's less than 2% of businesses that's active in the federal government marketplace. Now, if we look at the state, county, and cities, that there is really a small sector of the community that's in the government marketplace. So there's going to be, yes, there's competition. There's competition in everything you do, but there's less competition. Number 12, on average, there's about 180,000 to 200,000 businesses that's actively winning government contracts every year. So that's less than half of 1% of businesses that's winning contract in the federal marketplace. So you will become part of the exclusive club out there. And then less than 1% companies are currently winning contracts. Number 14, state and local governments employ over 20 million employees. So if you are a trainer, if you do HR work, if you do leadership development, DEI training, if you do anything that has to do with people, guess what? The government has 20 million employees and they need people support. Really, you're in the people business, right? And so they need you. GSA, number 15, GSA accounts for over $39 billion. That's 9% of all federal spending. So lots of money there. There's over 12,000 GSA contracts out there, over 35 GSA scheduled that's been consolidated some more, and about 11,000 vendors and contractors out there. Number 17, $47 billion was awarded under the category everyone can compete, but only one bid or offer was received. Now think about that. $47 billion is open for everybody, but there was only one bidder, one contractor on it. $47 billion. That's another good reason to be in the government marketplace. Number 18, the federal government awarded over 2.5 million contracts annually. So that's a lot of opportunities to go around. The average federal contract is worth 180,000. Now, I don't know what the average size of your business is. Your business, your average ticket might be $1,000. Some of you sell products that's $200. Some of you sell products at $50,000 per item. But the average contract size is worth $180,000 in the government marketplace, at least at federal level. Every 7 minutes, a contract at the federal level is being awarded to somebody. Number 21, over $20 billion was spent through credit cards, smart cards, purchase cards, and so forth. So if you are working with, if you have certain type of products or lower dollar threshold, sometimes they just swipe a credit card. Number 22, purchases under $10,000 are considered purchase orders, micro purchases, and you do not need to compete to get those contracts. So if you have product and services under $10,000, guess what? Micro purchase coming your way. Number 23, the DoD has over 571,000 facilities, and each facility has lots of buildings and installations, and they're worldwide. Why is that important? If you're in construction, if you're in renovation, if you are in janitorial services, logistics, supply chain, anything that touches a building, there's 571,000 facilities out there, just the Department of Defense alone. Now, if we talk about civilian agencies, you're talking about hundreds of thousands of buildings out there for you to go and support. Number 24, on average, the federal government market awarded $1.8 billion every single day, $74 million every single hour. And number 25, every single minute, $1.2 million being awarded, and every single second tick, $20,000 was awarded to a company out there. So while you're spending the next hour with me here, $1.2 million is being awarded every minute, and in the next hour we're going to be together. 74 million has been awarded to somebody else. Now, unfortunately, it's not you because you're hanging out with me, right? But here's the news: you and I are hanging out together so that in the future you can actually be the company that's winning. Every hour, 74 million is being awarded to somebody so that you can be that company. So 25 reasons, facts and reasons why you need to be in the government market. That's it right there. Our show producer put that link on the bottom, in the chat, so you can download this document for yourself. Now let's shift gears a little bit. Let's go to the next area. 10 questions you must ask yourself before you start a business, right? So this is a very important question. You have to ask yourself, starting with number 1. Do you have mobilization capital to cash flow your projects? Now, yes, I know you want to win $1 million contract. Yes, I know you have big dreams, big goals. But if you don't ask this question, how are you going to cash flow the project? Just because you win a contract, your banks will not lend you the money. They don't understand the government market, so you have to have a plan. Do you have a line of credit? Are you going to pull from savings? Are you building trade lines so that you can get a line of credit? So lots of different questions that has to be asked about this, sir. What's your strategy of getting mobilization capital so that when you win the contract, you're good to go? Now, this is a very important question. Is number 1, because tell you a true story. We helped a company win a $1.1 million contract, and it was to refurbish some apartment complex in Alabama so that government can send military there. And the military got tired of putting people into hotels because they don't know where their personnel are. And so they send them into Birmingham, Alabama on a annual basis, and they don't know where they're going to be at because it might be in this hotel, that hotel. So the government says, hey, what we're going to do is we're going to take some apartment units and turn it into housing, temporary housing, whether it's 2 weeks or a month. So when we send our personnel there to train, we always know exactly where they're staying. So this company won a $1.1 million contract to refurbish and furnish these facilities. Well, they won the contract and they didn't have the money to start. And so they went to the apartment complex and said, hey, I won the contract. Start doing the renovation and furnish it. The apartment complex said, no, we're not going to start this here. You got to give us $100,000 to start on this $1.1 million contract. It's your contract. It's not our contract. We need $100,000 to get started. And the business owner didn't have the money. So don't be like this person here. Get your mobilization capital together. Generally, you need about anywhere from 10 to 20% to mobilize. So have a financial plan before you bid on $1 million contract. Number two, do you have an HR plan, right? To assemble a team. When you win a contract, you typically have about 2 weeks to put your team together, whether it's a subcontractor, whether it is a new hire, whether it's a project manager, it doesn't matter. You need to put together a HR plan so that you can assemble your team to get started on the project. Number three, another very important question to ask, do you have bonding capacity? Now, if you are in the construction industry, any project at the federal level over 100,000, bonding is absolutely required. If it's less than 100,000, it's at the discretion of the contracting officer. So do you have bonding capabilities? Very important question to ask yourself if you're in the construction industry. Another important question to ask yourself before you get started in the government market is, do you have the proper insurance? Number four, do you have proper insurance? There are some industry where insurance is absolutely required. If you are in certain service industry, like transportation, you need auto vehicle insurance, you need general liability. If you have employees, more than most states, I believe it's 3 or more, you need to have workers' comp, you need to have unemployment insurance, you need different type of insurance. So it's not like, let me start a business, I have no insurance strategy. You need to have a property casualty insurance agent to work with. And so now some of these things here, if you need more clarification, if you need more help with these here, reach out to us. Send us an email at info@govcontractors.org. We have resources that we can connect you to insurance agents. We can connect you to legal teams. We can connect you to different resources that you need in the government market. Number five, do you have a quality assurance program and or safety program? And as of right now, you also need a cybersecurity plan through CMMC. So cybersecurity maturity model certification, which is a new initiative, is kicking in as we speak right now. Do you have a quality assurance program? Do you have a safety program? Do you have a cybersecurity program? All of those things are very important questions you need to ask yourself. Number six, do you or can you qualify for set-aside programs, right, for small businesses? So some of you are large companies that join us on this podcast, but most of you are entrepreneurs, you're individuals, you're thinking, how do I get into the government market, or how do I start a government contracting business? So if you're existing business, you still have to start new in the government market. If you are a professionals and you're trying to start a brand new company, there's certain things you have to put in place. But understanding set-asides, small business certification is very, very important. This is actually one of the most important questions you have to ask. What do you qualify for? Do you have the capability to get an SDVSB certification? I was meeting with a gentleman yesterday. He's a veteran, and he's never really considered about getting his veteran benefits in terms of, for the service that he's done. He's never really went to get his rating for the hearing loss that he experienced. And I said, dude, you serve our nation, you put your life on the line. There are certain things that's wrong with you, and you just haven't really complained about it. And you've been taught not to complain, but you just think about it. He said, yeah, you know what? I did do this here. And, I do have some hearing, some diminished hearing. I said, you need to go get rated. And if you get your rating, even if it's 0%, you are considered SDVSB. You can get your service disabled veteran, 0% or higher. You just have to get rated. Now, if you don't get rated, that means you cannot get your SDVOSB. You can get the VOSB, and we're going to talk about certification in another class because that's a whole different topic, and that's going to require at least an hour to talk about how to get your small business certifications and all these other things there. But yes, you need to ask the question, do you qualify for any of these certifications? And then, do you have industry? Number 7, do you have industry certifications? Right? For example, if you are in manufacturing, do you have lean, black belt, green belt? Do you have CMMI? Do you have ISO 9001? Are you a CPA? Are you an attorney? Are you a general contractor? All these different professional designation industry certifications are helpful for you in terms of your niche industry. Number 8, are you in this here for the long haul? Government contracting is very lucrative, but if you're thinking, I'm just going to go in, I'm going to be successful, it takes about 6 months just to even understand the language and the culture. To get certified as an 8A certified business could take you 9 months to 12 months. So if you're in it for the quick money, this is probably not the industry. But if you want to grow and scale a business, and in about 3 to 5 years, you start to become a multi-million-dollar corporation, this is the right industry. So government contracting is not for, regardless of what you've heard, it's not quick money, but it is big time money, and it's sustainable, and it's good cash flow long term. So great opportunities in the government market, but it's not you're not going to hit it rich in 3 months. 3 months, you're just trying to even learn to speak Governese. So you have to be in it for the long haul. Number 9, are you willing to commit to time to learn how to do business in the government market? Now, it is a different language. We call it Governese. It is a different culture. How you do business in the government market is very different. So you have to ask yourself, are you willing to commit time to really understand this industry? So before you get started in the government market, you got to ask this question, right? And then number 10, are you willing to get out of your comfort zone? Government contracting is different language, different culture. How you do things is differently. If you don't do it properly, you can go to jail, right? I had a gentleman, he was talking to a contracting officer. I won't name the agency because this agency has been known to have some corruption going on there, right? So he was meeting with this agency, and he came to me and he said, hey, the contracting officer said that she has some opportunity. She can sole source me. But she asked me this question. She said she's looking to retire very soon. And when she retires, do we have a consulting position for her at our company? And so the wink, wink, hint, hint is that I will give you a sole source contract if you promise me that you're going to bring me on as a consultant to work at your company. He says, hey, I think we have an in. I said, man, you are in for some serious trouble. And I said, how do you not know that that is a operation, a sting to root out bad, corrupt government contractors? How do you not know that? And if you say, okay, yeah, we'll sign you into a contract, and if you award this contract to us, and we will hire you when you retire. I said, how do you not know that that is a sting operation to root out bad businesses? He said, oh man, I never thought of it that way. So you have to get out of your comfort zone and learn new ways of how to do different things so you don't get in trouble. Now, there's a proper way to do things, and there's a wrong way to do things. And so always be, plan to do it the right way. Now, there are some areas that's kind of gray area where you can do it within what I call compliance, but you never want to do it in a non-compliant manner. So these are 10 questions to ask before you start a business. Now, let's shift gears a little bit, right? We've been talking about how to start a business. This is a 1-page document in terms of how to start a government contracting business. So now I will read this here. So follow me a little bit. And because this teaches you exactly what you need to do to start a government contracting business. Uncle Sam speaks Governese, but do you? Like Venus and Mars, the private and public sectors are different planets. Uncle Sam, for instance, comes from a different culture, one in which he speaks a bizarre language full of strange words, acronyms, rules, regulations, and red tape. I call this language Governese. Here's a linguistic test for you. Read this section below and see how much you understand it. It's written in Governese or GovSpeak with instructions on what you should do to be successful in the government market. For your business to be successful in the B2G market, you should start by researching federal procurement regulations. Read the FAR, DFARS, FASA, NDAA, UCC, CFR, and Federal Register. Next, attend an Apex and SBA training session. As a small business, check out MBDA, SBDC, NDIA, and NCMA for help. If you're a Native American, go to NCAIED. Next, use FPDS and USA Spending to research past performances and contract awards. Find the incumbents and benchmark after them. If you've learned the basics, you will need to register your company. First, identify your SIC codes, your PSC, NIGP, and NAICS codes. Then attain a UEID and cage number. Next, register as a vendor in SAM using your the login site. Make sure you have your primary and secondary POCs, corporate information, and your TIN. Lastly, you'll need a strong MPIN. To gain a competitive edge, learn about sole source contracts and determine which certification you qualify for. Check into these federal set-aside programs, HubZone, 8A, EDWSB, SDVSB, VOSB, Section 3, and other initiatives. If you're seeking for local and state projects, SLED, consider DBE, SUC, HUB, LSBE, FBE, APABE, HABE, and SWAM. If you prefer to start with commercial projects, check out the MBE, AABE, WB, VBE, and LGBTBE certification programs. Based on your business size standard, consider using a teaming strategy when pursuing a solicitation. This will help you build your past performance. Sometimes the opportunity may come out as a pre-sold, sources sell, RFP, RFI, RFQ, IFB, or other contracting methods. One strategy is to start as a subcontractor so that you don't have to take on the responsibilities of being a prime. Another idea is to form an MP relationship with the prime and then set up a JV. The prime is required to have a small business plan, SBP, which can be an advantage to your company. To find solicitations to bid on, use the following sites: SAM.gov, iSearch, eBuy, Dibs, GovGenie, FedBid, Unison Global. Also use these contracted vehicles to help: IDIQ, MATOC, GWAG, BPA, OTA, BAA, STARS 3, SATOC, FSS, MAS, GSA schedules, ITES, FSSI, micro purchases, and SAP. Start promoting your company by meeting the OSTBU with the OSTBU, SABU, SBS, SBLO, OSBP, and obviously the SBA boss. Your capability statement should be complete by now. So send them to the new agencies. Start by sending to the KO, the CO, the short one-page version of your capability statement. Okay. And make sure you're DCA compliant, because the DoD, GAO, OFCCP, and OMB have stricter compliance measures now. If you want to get paid, ensure that you're not listed on EPLS, and finally register with E-Verify, WAFL, and ESRS as needed. If you understood more than 80% of what we just read, congratulations, you speak fluent Governese. But if you couldn't grasp some of these contracting language, and you had to Google some of this here, then man, you are not quite ready to be successful in the government market. So this document is available for you. Really, it teaches you, this is a one document business plan, how to get started in the government market. But do you speak Governese, right? That's really the question. And that's why some of you guys are here with me, how to start a government contracting business. So I have this question here. I have this question for you. How much do you understand of all these different Governese terminology here? Do you understand what SLED is? Do you understand what is a UEID? Do you understand? Now, some of you say, oh, yeah, Abe, I got that. And great for you, right? And some of you are like, man, what is this here? It's called Governese. It's called acronyms, right? You have to speak this language. So part of starting a business in the government market is learning to speak a new language. Nuno metondukuka kikya o halojola tamba. May ya ilu company small business. May sama tau source contract. Gu ya itu tunay o halojola tamba. Gu ya to contracting officer. Ya may jante ta shino gu mo source contract. May ya lente jante gu mo source contract. May. Anybody understand what I just said? Nobody? Now, usually Vicky comes and hang out with me. So Vicky actually speaks my native language. But what I just said is this here. You're here to hang out with me and you want to win government contracts. I am acting as a government contracting officer. And you as a small business, if you raise your hand right now, I will sole source you a contract. That's what I just said. But if you don't speak the language, you don't even know to raise your hand. Now, this is a true story. I'm saying this in a kind of like a funny way, but this is a true story. A friend of mine attended a GDOT, Georgia Department of Transportation event, and a whole bunch of different companies were there, but most of them were construction companies. And so at the very end, they talked about a whole bunch of construction projects, and then the contracting officer said, "Anybody in the room that's in IT?" He looked around the room. He was the only company that was in IT at this construction meeting. So he raised his hand as the only IT company in the room. And the contract officer said, "See me after this session here. I've got an IT project for you." So you got to speak the language, right? And so you got to know and be. So, but this is your 1-page document, or really a 1.5-page document in terms of how to do business in the government market. But now let's get to some practicals, right? Because here, in this podcast here, when I'm teaching you how to win government contract, it's not about theories. It's not about, just high concepts, right? It's about practicals. So let's get into the practicals. So practicals have to do with this here. Now, stay to the end. We do have a giveaway. Our giveaway is, we have a giveaway for those that stay to the end, and we're going to give out a free, it's actually not free course. The course is $1,997, but we're going to give this here to one winner. So you have to stick around to the end when we do this giveaway here. And so the giveaway is a video course. It's called Win Millions in Government Contract Without Having to Write Complex Proposals. Now, if you already have won this course here, you can, if you stay to the end, you can gift the course to a friend, right? So you can gift the course to a friend. So it's a video course, and we sell it for almost $2,000, but it's yours for free, just for hanging out with me and staying to the end. And we're going to do a quick giveaway, so that it's absolutely free if you stay to the end. All right, so this is how you start a business in the government market. It's about the 5 Ps. Now I'm going to come back and dive into the 5 Ps in a second, but I'm going to talk about what are your step-by-step process to winning government contract. And so I'm going to instead of showing to you through the software, I'm going to just map it out step by step here so that you can follow me. So the first step is this here. Right? Oops. So step by step. So step number 1 is you have to do an assessment of your business. You have to do an assessment of your business. You have to know where you are. You're coming to me, you say, "Abe, I want to go to Washington, D.C., or what we call the DMV, right? DMV, D.C., Maryland, Virginia area, or sometimes we call it NCR, the National Capital Register." So you're saying, "I want to go to contract capital of the world, which is DMV area, but help me to get there." Well, first, before you get there, you have to assess where you're at. So just like a GPS, you can't just start driving, because if you may know where you want to go, but if you don't know where you're starting, the GPS will not work. So that's really the first step, is assess where you are as a business. Are you brand new? Do you have resources? The 10 questions that we asked earlier, right? You have to ask yourself those questions. So that's part of the assessment. Step number 2, you have to have a strategy. So what do I mean by strategy? Strategies can be any of this here. How do you start your business? Should you do you qualify for certifications, right? So certification is part of your strategy. Can you be a subcontractor, right? Being a subcontractor is one of the most important strategies you can get started off with. Do you have a short term? Do you have a short term strategy? So you got to have a short term plan, right? And then you got to have a long term plan. And we talked about in one of our previous video in terms of having a short term plan and a long term plan. If you don't have that, you might not be successful. So what are some short-term plans, right? Short-term plans is what's the quickest path to revenue in the government market, and long-term plan is assuming you become a large company or you graduate out of your small business certifications. What's your long-term plan? What do you need to have in place? So strategies, having the right strategy is very important in the government market. Let's go to step number 3. We talked about it, right? You have to educate yourself. So education is very important in the government market, and learning to speak Governese. That's really the next step. And then you have to registration. Step number 4 is registering your business to become a vendor for the government, whether you're registering in sam.gov. In a future class, we're going to talk about how to register in SAM, how to register in the different states. So registering to become a vendor is a very important step. Registering your business or getting certified as a business owner is another part of registration. Registering, getting your GSA schedule, that's another part of registration. So these are all part of registration. So yes, you have to go through this step here, right? And then as you're building your business, you're saying, okay, I'm assessing my business, I'm getting strategies together, I'm learning to speak the language, I'm registering my business. You have to move to the next step. Next step is your image, or really your brand, right? Does your brand represent a $1 million brand? Does your image communicate that you can be trusted? If you are using abe@gmail.com, not a good email. How are you going to create trust with a contracting officer when you're not even investing a few dollars a month to have a professional email? In fact, you can get a professional email at zohomail.com. Go to zohomail.com, scroll all the way to the bottom, go to the pricing page, scroll all the way to the bottom, and they will allow you to set up a professional email address for free. You don't have to pay for it. And once you're ready to pay, it's $1 a month. And if you say, okay, I want the full version, it's like $5 a month. And so it's a few dollars a month, invest in your brand, right? That's part of creating an image using a professional email address. Or what about your website, right? Your website has to look a certain way. It has to speak to government buyers. The government does not use brochures. They use capability statements. Do you have a strong capability statement? Yeah, some of you guys use Zoho. That's awesome. It's not the best email service out there, but it is a great email service. So there's Proton Mail is the best. It's the most private and the most secured, and it doesn't follow you around. It doesn't track you. It doesn't serve ads to you. Proton Mail is the best. And then obviously Google Workspace, Outlook, and Microsoft 365, and then obviously Zoho. Those are probably the top email service providers out there. Now there's some other ones out there too, but get a professional email address, get a professional brand. Your logo matters, right? The name of your business matter. If your business name, this is a young lady I was working with. She has a company called Visionary Construction. She tells me, she said, Abe, I want to do facilities. I want to do security guard. I want to do all these different things. And I said, well, your name is called Visionary Construction. That limits you to just construction. And she said, well, what should I do? I said, we need to either change your name or we need to create a DBA, doing business as. So we rebranded her as Visionary Services. Her first contract was 26,000. The next contract was 78,000. Renovation. Her third project was $3.1 million doing security guard, right? So she went from a few hundred thousand in total revenue to $3.1 million in revenue by having a name that represents more than just construction. Visionary services is broader. Visionary construction seems like you can only do construction. So your brand matters in the government market, right? Next step, marketing. So this is part of building your business, the government market. You got to have a marketing plan. What do I mean by marketing? Marketing has to do with what do you say when you email a large contractor, a large prime? You want to do subcontracting work to them. What do you say to them, right? How do you market to them? How do you engage them on LinkedIn? How do you engage them by email? These are all marketing initiatives that you have to have a plan around. Marketing to a contracting officer. What do you say to a contracting officer? In fact, let me give you a very specific tip in terms of emailing to a contracting officer. We actually have, I'm going to show you guys the tools in a second, but this is an example of an email that you would market to a contracting officer. Once you find a contracting officer, you will say, "Hi, John. I was referred to you by my SBA boss, and I wanted to give you a little bit, share a little bit of capabilities so that we can support your agencies. I've identified a few forecasted opportunities that we're interested in. Is it possible for me to set up a 15-minute meeting with your agency?" Something very simple like that. So, and we have the actual template in the software. I'm going to show you guys the software in a second. So that's an example. If you're emailing a large prime, what do you say to a large prime, right? To convince them to do business with you. Well, you send a example email is similar to this here. The subject line is IT projects for cloud migration with Department of Justice. That's the subject line. So what you do is you find an opportunity, you track an opportunity that company wants, everybody's looking for more opportunities, right? And then you send them the opportunity and you say, "Hey, I'm interested on bidding on this project, but the scope is a little bit larger than what we're able to do. And I was hoping you and our company can team together on this project." It's a very different approach. You don't email a large company and say, "Hey, John, do you have any subcontracting work for me?" Because that's what everybody's doing. You take food to the party. Bring your own beer to the party, right? Don't just go crash somebody's party and you get kicked out. No, if you're bringing food to the party, everybody say, "Oh man, come on in, man. You bringing beer to the party?" Everybody say, "Hey, you're always welcome if you're bringing beer," right? So go to the party, bring food to the party, bring projects with. Now you of course you don't qualify for. You're a small business. It's a $10 million project. It's too big for you. You don't have the cash flow. You don't have the money for it. Take that project to a large company. Say, "Hey, we can do," and usually when you meet with them, you want to say, "We can do this part of it, but these other 4 parts, let's assume there's five core areas of the project. We're really good at this here, and so if you guys can handle the other 4 areas, we can handle this here. So if it's a $10 million project, you might just handle $1.5 million of it, and the large company will handle the $8.5 million of it. That's fine. Your first project, it's the first revenue you bring is $1.5 million in the government market. True story. Young lady, how she got to the government market, her first contract was $13 million. She won a $13 million. She had zero experience, just started her business, won $13 million. But she wasn't the prime. Somebody else was the prime. She went to them and said, "Hey, I will write the proposal. I will put the pricing together. I would do everything. And all you have to do is review it and you be the prime. And I do $2 million of the $13 million project and you guys do the rest." That's how she won her first contract. So yes, marketing is very important. How do you market? And we, in the software, I'm going to share with you in a little bit, it's going to give you step by step on how to do that there. So next step, right? We talk about assessment, strategy, education, registry, image, marketing, and now we go into next step, relationships. You need relationships. There's 6 types of relationships you need to be successful. So if you're thinking about how do I start a business, you have to understand that there's 6 types of relationships that you must have in the government market. Now, we actually have a relationship triangle that we teach in our our relationship marketing class, but let me kind of give it to you quickly. So you need a relationship with the end user. The end user is the agency itself, the program manager, the director, the employee inside the agency. That's the end user. You need a relationship with the contracting office, or sometimes we call the KO or the CO, right? So the KOCO, they work in the contracting office. Let me just type it out so it's easier. So you need relationships with these folks. You also need a relationship with small business specialists, the OSTBU, the SABU, the OSBP, all of these, the SBA boss, all of these different folks here, small business specialists. You also need relationships with large primes, right? And you need relationship within the large primes. There is a key person you need there. It's called the SBLO. Anybody know what the SBLO stands for? SBLO. Put in the chat if you know what it is. You also need a relationship with other small businesses. Why? Because if you want to do work with a VA, you need to partner with a STVSB company. If you want to do work for the CDC, they love to work with 8A certified company. Different agencies have different contracting preference. They have different small business certifications that they lean more on. If you want to do work with the with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, they like to work with hub zone companies, right? And so depending on who you're trying to work with, different agencies have different preferences. So you need other small businesses that have different capabilities, different certifications. If you are a plumber, you need a relationship with an electrician, because sometimes they award a contract that they need both skill set. So you need other small businesses to work with. And then the last relationship that you need to build is what we call your capture team. And what do I mean by capture team? Within your capture team, you need a proposal writer. Some of you are amazing at writing persuasive proposals. Some of you're horrible, and you say, Abe, you can teach me till the cows come home, but I am not going to know how to write proposal. I can learn, but man, I'm not good at writing. But so you need someone to do your relationship marketing. You need someone to be your social media person. You need someone to do pricing for you. You need someone to do your accounting, to do your compliance, your quality, your capture team, or all the professional services that you need to help you to succeed in the government market. So these are the different type of relationships you need. Now let's go to step number 8. Step number 8, right? So we talk about 7 steps. So after relationships, right? So now that you've built your relationship, you say, okay, what's the next step? What do I need to do next, Abe? You need to know how to find opportunities. Now, there is a reason why opportunity is not number 1, because there's lots of opportunities out there, right? I just shared with you earlier that there's 25 reasons why you need to be in the government market. One of them is that in the hour that we're going to be here, $75 million is being awarded to somebody. So there's opportunities out there, but how do you find these opportunities? There's 3 areas of opportunities that you have to consider. The first is you have to consider the past. Second, you have to consider the present. And then the third, you have to consider the future, right? What I mean by past, present, and future opportunities. Past has to do with awards. You have to be able to find past awards so that you can find current or present opportunities. Now, past awards is you can find that through this website, right? usaspending.gov. So this should be one of your favorite websites. You go find past awards. This is why it's important. 70% of present opportunity or current opportunities are what's called recompete. Recompete meaning that it was up for, somebody won it for the last 5 years or for the last 3 years, and now it is available for you to come out for rebid again. So recompetes makes up about 70% opportunities. So you have to know how to find past awards because this contract is expiring in 6 months. So you're already preparing for it 6 months in advance. Now, present opportunities, right? Present opportunities, you can find that through sam.gov. You can find that through challenge.gov, right? You can find that through our website, govgenie.com. So we have a bid matching platform. It's actually pipeline management. It's a whole suite of solutions. So these are different resources in terms of how do you find present opportunities, right? These are different websites of how you can find that. Now, future opportunity is what we call forecasts, right? Forecasts are available every single day. You just have to know how to find it. Now, there's really no really strong database in terms of how to find forecasts, but there is one that I can point you to. It is called acquisition.gov/procurement forecast. So I'm gonna put this link in the chat so that you guys can have access to it. And I'll put it in my document here. So you can find forecasts. So how do you find forecasts? You go to this site and it says, okay, which agency am I interested in working with? I'm interested in working with the Department of Transportation. So you click on this link. Now, some of these sites are really good. Some of these sites are not that good, right? So you come in here and some of them you have to click a few times to get to the forecast page. So it's okay, I'm interested in full and open competition, or I'm interested. We're a EDWSB business, so I'm interested in this here, and I want to look for architectural and construction, and I want to look at industrial, and then let's just hit apply. There's no results. Okay, so let's reset. Let me just look at 8A as an example. Anything that's 8A. Let's see what's in here. Okay. So you kind of in here. So these are all the opportunity. It tells you the estimated amount, the value. Now some you have to resort it by year. So now we are in the final month of the 2024 fiscal year. So the new dates, they're going to update this here sometime in the near future with all of the 2025 stuff that's coming out. So use these resources, right? You have to find upcoming opportunities. So past, present, and future. So now that you found opportunities, then we go into the next step. I'm taking you through 12 steps. You need to know how to write proposals. Writing proposal is part of how you succeed in the government market. Proposal writing is the solicitation comes out as an RFQ, and your proposal response comes together. It forms a binding contract or an agreement. That's what we call it, government contracts. The solicitation is half the contract. Your proposal is the other half, and you sign it. They choose you. You sign it. It becomes a binding agreement, binding contract between the government and your business. That's what we call it, government contracting. So your proposal is part of the contract. So you have to learn how to write persuasive, not just technical writing, but persuasive writing. So it's more of a art form as well as a technical writing component to it. So proposal writing is very important. We got an upcoming proposal class or boot camp that covers proposal writing. So go to our govevent.com and all of our events that if you're interested in, I'll put the link in here, and my producer can put it in there as well into the chat. So govevent.com, no S here, govevent singular. So after proposal, right? What do you do next? You win, you write a proposal and you win. So next step is you have to perform on it, or what we call performance. You have to perform, deliver the work, deliver the product. And then step 11, you have to stay in compliance. And then finally, step 12, you have to close out the contract, or we call it closure. So these are your 12 steps of how to start a business in the government market, from assessment to strategy to education to registration to image, marketing, relationship building, opportunity sourcing, proposal writing, performing on your contract, staying compliance, and closing out the contract. So these are your steps of how you start a business in the government market. Now you're like, hey man, that's a lot of steps to take. Well, guess what? This is the tip of the iceberg. Let me show you the inside of this here. So the inside of this here looks like this here. I share with you the 12 steps. So if we come here, we have a success formula, what we call the 5 Ps. So when I first came to the United States, I'm from a small little country called Laos. Laos, in the mid 70s, the communist regime took over the country. And so we allied with the United States, fought against the communist regime during the Vietnam War. Vietnam fell, Laos fell, Cambodia fell, lots of countries fell in Southeast Asia to new regimes. And so as an ally to the United States, we decided, if we stayed, they're going to kill us. So we fled. When we got to the United States, I didn't speak a single word of English. I mean, we came to the United States, my parents had $20 in their pocket. We didn't have any money. We don't speak the language. We had one set of clothes, right? Really the shirt on our backs. So I had to learn my ABCs as a young person in this country. I had to learn Jack and Jill went up the hill, right? All the basic. And so when I got into the government market, I fell in love with this industry. And I said, man, there's a lot of small business that don't understand this industry. How do I teach them to win government contracts? So I decided that I have to break down government contracting into an easy to understand step-by-step process. And the most basic of this process is called the 5 Ps. P plus P plus P plus P equals P. That's it. After today, all of you know government contracting. It's not the alphabet, 26 letters. It's just 5 Ps. That's it. So the last P is a byproduct of the 4 Ps that you have to go through. So the last P, anybody know what the last P is? Put in the chat. What is the last P? What are you trying to make as a business? Starts with a P. But to get to the final P, you have to go through the first P, which is preparation. The second P is the promotion phase. The third P is the proposal phase. And the fourth P is the performance phase. So you go through 4 Ps to get to the final P. So what is the final P? Bertha, absolutely. Terras, yes. Profit, right? You as a business owner, you got to make a profit. It's not winning a contract does not guarantee you profit. So to be a business owner, to be sustainable, you have to generate profit. So to generate profit, you go through 4 phases: preparation, promotion, proposal, performance. So practically, what is that? Preparation has to do with assessment, strategy, education, registration. Sounds familiar, right? Well, guess what? We just talked about it right here. These are the steps, right? But if we look at that, okay, what's the next steps? Under promotion, image, marketing, relationships. What are the next steps? Under proposal, opportunities, proposal writing. Next step, performance, compliance, and closure. These are your 12 steps, but they're nicely nestled under each phase. So if you're a brand new company, you say, hey, how do I do assessment? Well, guess what? Click on this link or click on this tab, open it up. It says, okay, what's my business infrastructure? And when you come down here, right? Remember we talked about business name? I shared about a Visionary Construction and why we rebranded her as Visionary Services. Guess what? If you're not in love with your business name, click on this, open this here. And it says, okay, hey, this is how you choose a business name. One that matters, right? And then if you love your business name, then don't worry about it. Mark off 100%. Go to the next step. Just mark it off 100%. I love my business name. Go to the next step, and just mark up 100%. Right? Don't get stuck on there. Don't say, Abe, why are you teaching me such an elementary principle? I promise you, there's some more advanced principle we're going to talk about in a second. Right? Remember we talked earlier. We talked about getting a professional email address. Guess what? Zoho right here, right? All these links, all these things are already in here. As you come down here, you need, in step number 38, you need to order corporate kit. You're thinking like, oh, what is a corporate kit, Abe? Close this out. You're saying, hey, what is a corporate kit? Well, guess what? The link is right here. Click on this here. You need a corporate kit because of this here. If you're LLC, come in here, click on the LLC. This is your corporate kit. You can pay an attorney $1,000 for this here, or you can come in here and order for yourself, 39 bucks. Your corporate kit is your operating agreement if you're LLC, or your bylaws if you're a C Corp or S Corp. It is also your stock certificates. You need to prove that you own your own business by issuing yourself as the owner a stock certificate, and you will use it to go get your STVSB certification, your 8A certification, your women's certification, all the other certifications out there. They're going to ask you for your stock certificate. And so you can pay an attorney a lot of money or come do it yourself, right? And you continue with this here. Just continue this here step by step. If you need something, the links are here. The attachments are here. This is your step-by-step blueprint to getting your business started in the government contracting marketplace. So let's assume you get to, Abe, what about HR? Or if you need a business plan, right? All resources here, links and templates are in here, right? For business plan. Let's talk about HR. Okay, Abe, what's E-Verify? Well, guess what? Step number 69, you need E-Verify to set that up. Click on this link here. It takes you here. E-Verify is the portal where you have to go obtain your E-Verification number, because on some government facilities, the employees or the contractors that you put in place, they have to be validated to have proper documentation to work in the United States. There are some high clearance facilities area that you cannot send people to if they have not been vetted through, at the minimal, through E-Verify. Now, there are some projects where you have to have facility clearance, which is a super high rigorous process, and you can't just do that on your own. Someone needs to sponsor you for facility clearance. But E-Verify is the basic starting point. So you say, okay, Abe, okay, I've done that. Well, if you've done that, mark off 100%, go to the next step, right? And we continue. This is your blueprint I told you, right? If you get to here, you say, what is a capture team? So you come in here. In here, we actually put this article, right? It talks about how to build a capture team. Your capture team makes up of all these people, right? Your capture manager, your proposal writer, your researcher, your cost estimator, your brand manager, project manager, contract manager, compliance, legal. All these people are very expensive. If you say, Abe, I don't have $750,000 to hire this here. Well, guess what? We actually have a class that will teach you how to wear all these hats. In fact, we have an upcoming class tomorrow night. And for all of you who are joining us, I want to invite you to come to that class. And if you stay to the end, I'm going to show you how you can come to that class at no cost for this one class. Now, the whole program, you can learn more about it at capturemanagement.org, where we actually teach you how to start your business, how to grow your business in the government market. It's tomorrow night, 6 to 8 p.m. And if you send us an email to info@govcontractors.org, my producer is going to put that email in the chat. If you send us an email, say, hey, can you send me the link? We're not going to put it public to everybody because we only want those who are serious about this. This class is one of the most important class you will ever take. It's 14 weeks. You get the Gov Fast Track software. You get the GovLMS, the learning management system. You get a business coach. You get a study partner. You get to be certified as a capture manager, plus a whole bunch of other stuff. You get all of this here to be in this program here. But we're going to give you, this is a 14-week program. We're going to give you the first class for free. Just come and learn and see what the class is all about. And so send us an email. email my producer, put it in the chat. It's info@govcontractors.org. And just say, hey, please send me the link to the free, or not free, but to the CCM class. It's called the CCM program, the Certified Capture Manager program. So in the subject line, please send me the link to the Certified Capture Management program and just come to class. No cost, free, come to it, see what it's all about. All right. So this is part of your step-by-step process, right? If you need to develop the right strategy, click here, right? Right here, we talk about what is the best short-term strategy. Guess what? Click on this link here, and the information is right here at your fingertips, or at the click of a mouse, right? Not quite, not quite fingertip, but yeah, I guess it's fingertip, but you're using your finger to click it. So here we talk about what is the best strategy, right? So this is your best strategy. All of this here is already ready for you to go. This is your blueprint, right? This is your blueprint software here. And you go, what's your long-term strategy? Guess what? The attachment is right here. We get into education. How do you speak the language? Guess what? All of these resources, yes, we're going to teach you how to speak Governese, but we also give you resources to go and continue to speak Governese. And then when it comes to registering, we talk about registering in SAM. We talk about certifications. If you want to learn about certifications or get your certifications going, the links, the information is right here. And then we just continue step by step. Once we get into promotion, we talk about how do you build a brand that's going to create trust, right? So we come in here, how do you build a website that's going to create trust? In fact, there was a project, someone lost a project, $330,000 project because the website didn't have certain information on it. Guess who that person was? We lost a $330,000 project because we won a compound pharmacy contract worth $330,000. But on our website, we didn't have any information about compound pharmacy. So yes, we won, but they didn't order anything from us because we didn't show that we can do that work. We really want it for our teaming partner, because as the Government Contractor Association, we normally don't bid on it. But we had this one company that said, hey, we're not quite fully registered in SAM, but there's a project we want to bid, and can you be our prime and bid on this project, and we will be the subcontractor. And so we did to help them. But because we didn't take the time to update our website, we didn't win any contract. We won the contract, but we didn't get the money. So that was a very expensive lesson there. So how do you build a website that speaks Governese, right? This is a very simple 5-page website example. Come here, guess what? You have this is a IT company, information about your thing, but the most important is this government tab. You need to have this government tab, and you have your NAICS code, your capability statement, your capability video, all this stuff here. So, and then we go from that to marketing. How do you market? All the email samples are in here, right? Templates are all in here. How do you write proposal? We show you how to find opportunities. We show you how to write proposals, and you need agreements, right? In here, we talk about, okay, there are some certain agreements that you need. We put samples in here. These agreements, you probably have to pay for a general teaming agreement. An attorney probably charge you about $1,000 to $1,500. For an NDA, they probably charge you about $500 for it. For a contractor team agreement, they probably charge you about $3,000 for it. For a joint venture agreement, they probably charge you about $5,000 for it. In fact, some of these agreements are exact documents that we have either paid attorney or our members or our clients have used in the past. We redact it and we put it in here as templates. These documents here is probably about $50,000, $60,000 of information in here by itself. And then we put proposal templates, proposal resources in here, lots of templates and resources in here, unsolicited proposal samples. And then finally, you win a contract, you perform on it. We talk about all the different things you need to do to invoice to get paid. So this is your step-by-step blueprint on how to start a government contracting business. Now, we've covered a lot of stuff. If you want to learn more about the Gov Fast Track software, this step-by-step process here, just click on this link here. It is govfasttrack.com. and you can learn what is this software, what is this step-by-step blueprint of how to start a business in the government market. It's impossible to teach you how to start a business in 1 hour, but your blueprint step-by-step guide is this here, right? It takes you step by step. It's a checklist. And so you just like click, 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 do that sample website. All of that is already in here. Now, if you enroll in the CCM program, this software is included in the capture management class. So learn more about the capture management class here. So with that, it's time. We're going to wrap it up. If you have questions, I'm going to stick around for a little bit here, but we're going to wrap it up here. We're going to do the free giveaway. So this is how you get to be part of the free giveaway. So a lot of you are still here to the end. So glad you're here with me at the very end here. Hopefully, I've given you a lot of value, lots of different techniques, strategies, your step-by-step in terms of how to start your business in the government market. But we got this one last thing we need to do before we wrap up today's podcast here. So I'm going to give away this. Let me pull it up here. Free course here. Now, this course is not free, but we're going to give it to you for free to one person. How to win millions in government contract without having to write complex proposal. Now, if you have already enrolled in this course here, give it away to a friend. So if you win, you can gift it to a friend. And this course here is $1,997, but we're going to give it to you for free. So how do you get it for free? All we ask is sign up for a newsletter. And so to sign up for a newsletter, put your email in the chat. And then for everybody that puts their email in the chat, my producer is going to sign you up on the newsletter. And we do a monthly newsletter. There's no cost to be on the newsletter. We just send out, lots of information. We send out an article every month. We send out different things about government contracting in the newsletter. So that's the newsletter. Put your email in the chat. And then for everybody that puts an email in the chat, you get to participate in this giveaway here. So the giveaway, so I'm gonna give you guys a second to put your email in there, and while I talk about this course here. So this course, most of it is videos. It gives you lots of resources. A lot of the templates and resources are in the video. And so you just come in here and just click and watch this video, watch this video. And then there's some exercises, there's some different things that you have to do in this video course area. So this is part of how you start your business in the government market. And so $2,000 course, we're giving it away. All right. So for everybody that put in their email, this is how you're going to win. So I am going to write, give me 1 second. I am going to write a number. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to write the number on directly there on my computer here. So I'm going to write a number. And for those of you that are still on the call and you want to participate, put your email in the chat. My producer is going to take your email, sign up for a newsletter. That's it. That's the only thing we're asking you to do. But this course can be yours. And so I'm going to think of a number between 1 and 200. I'm going to write it down right now. And then all you have to do is guess the number that's in my mind that I'm writing down right now. So I'm writing down the number now. And I'm going to reveal the number to everybody in a second. Put in your number, a number between 1 and 200. 1 and 200. 1 and 200. So putting a number between 1 and 200, the closest person to it gets the prize. All right. Anybody else? Putting your number between 1 and $200, and you get the price. You get the video course. Now, we're giving you a lot of freebies, right? Lots of information, lots of good stuff, but this is just, we want to get it over the top. So, okay, last call. Last call. We need to participate, we need your email, and then all you have to do is put a number. All right, so last call, I'm going to reveal my number, and then whoever is the closest, or if you are exactly the number, you win. And if two of you have the same number that I put down, we'll give out two. We won't even do a tiebreaker. We would just give out two courses to whoever, or if three of you, or so forth. All right, so last call, I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to put down my number here. I'm going to reveal my number to everybody. And some of you will feel really awesome because I think we have a winner. So, all right, the number is this. Number 7, lucky 7. So let's see. I think we have lucky 7. Oh, we got 2 people with lucky number 7. Q Dotson and Takia Ellis. Anybody else got 7? Okay, so we got 2 winners. All right, so if you are my producer, let me know that you got both of their emails, Q Dotson and Takia, and we will send you the link to set up your free course. Again, it's not free, but to you it's free.
Yes, I have it.
Super. So we're going to wrap it up in another 10 minutes. Actually, we have a lab session that's coming up. And so if you want to join us for lab session is every single Wednesday. We do the live podcast, which we're doing now. But every Wednesday, we also have a lab session. Lab session is where our members and the contracting community, they come to lab sessions and they bring questions, and we cover a topic, and we help them navigate the government market. And so as a member, it's free to all of our members who are members of the association. If you don't know who we are, we're the Government Contractors Association. Go to govassociation.org. There's a link to the class, to the lab session that's coming up in about 10 minutes. And so I'm going to be doing the class. I think we're going to be talking about proposal, I believe. So come to the lab sessions with us. And if you're watching this on replay, we do the live session every single Wednesday, 11:30 Eastern time, right here. Thanks for joining us, for all of you. And remember, you're one contract away from the dream house you want, one contract away from the fishing trip you want to go to. I want to go on that fishing trip with you if you go. One contract away from the car that you've been dreaming about, one contract away from the next employee that you need to hire, one contract away from all the dreams that you want to accomplish. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you in another episode. Take care, everybody. Have a good one.